Welcome to another edition of Hair Matters. Today we intended to have on a barber from Peabody, Massachusetts. Unfortunately, like we find a lot of times in the hair business, it was a no call, no show, all over relationship drama. However, when it comes to Noel's Salon and Hair Matters, the show must go on. Here are your hosts, Noel, Aurora, and a special guest, fourth participant in the show this week.
And he's not a barber, but he's my son, Joe. Welcome. Hi. So, it was salon drama, actually.
What
Just
a shame.
to clear that up, yeah.
All right, salon drama.
It was a relationship drama between one of our stylists and this barber. So they decided not to do it. So here we are. We're
Maybe
still
it's
going to
better.
talk about it. Yeah,
Maybe it's better like that.
better. It's for the best.
There could have been tension at the podcast
Right.
table.
Yes,
You
it
don't
could have
want
been
that.
a big fight.
Big fight.
So, Aurora, let's talk about our contest before we begin.
Right. So we have one contestant, Diane, who wrote to us about how difficult it is to be a mom with low funds and little time to take care of her beauty needs. So we just want to reach out to her and say good luck. And, you know,
Yes,
we received
because-
it and it was really
yeah.
heartfelt.
It is, because what we're doing is a lucky winner in the Boston area will receive hair extensions and lip injections, which are valued around, what, $2,000?
And every mom wants that.
Yeah,
The lip injections, they come out great.
they
as you
do.
know.
So the show must go on, as Dan said. So we're going to talk about the differences between hair salon and barbers, I guess particularly for men.
We know where the professionals are. It's right here at Hair Matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Years ago, when I first started in the business, everybody just came to a hair salon because buzz cuts were popular, but not as popular as they are today, because a lot of men used to wear those mullets in the early 90s, and it was all done with
Well,
scissors.
as we've heard, apparently some of the stylists have mullets at the
Some
salon.
people can have mullets, yep. So back in those days, a lot of people just go on a hairstylist. Barbers were really for just old men, because they'd go in, get a shave, talk, kibitz.
Well, I think the barbering experience is more of like a cleanup all around. That's what it used to be, like shaving.
Yeah. Well, we can't shave, so that's why it's good that a barber can. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they're as creative. How do you like to work on men, Aurora?
I do not work on that. I really,
Dan, you
really-
found that a little filthy already. Already
really,
that dirty
no,
mind?
I mean, you learn your basics in
Right.
school. Just
That's where you learn your basics.
you
All right,
learn your
that's good to
basics.
know.
But then if you don't have like a knack for it, you have to really like
But it's
to
also
do
the
it.
clientele that you have.
Yeah,
and who's
definitely.
coming through the door. So for an example, years ago when I started working, I wanted to touch everybody's hair, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make my mistakes on human beings that weren't coming to my own salon or at a salon I would work at. So I went to work at a chain called Great Cuts. It was the most disgusting experience.
Why was it so disgusting?
Well, because men would come in by the droves to get their hair cut. You could not wash their hair. I know barbers don't always wash men's hair, but that being said, it's gross if you don't.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, especially at Great Cuts, there's like all walks of life coming in there. So if you looked good, which I did, they would pick you. And unbeknownst to them, I was not good.
It was almost like
it was
kind of getting like a free,
it was
check
like
out
going to
the
a
girl
Hooters or
and
something.
Yeah,
They get a real shitty haircut from me, but they would like ask you out. If I remember the most disgusting experience was a guy was playing with himself under the
he
cape.
was masturbating.
oh my god!
I don't know to what extent, but I
to
can
some
tell
extent,
you,
yeah.
You know,
to some extent,
that's
the cape was
crazy.
moving. The
That's
cape was
disgusting.
moving, and he was looking at me in the mirror.
Did he finish?
I
Did he
did not
did he
finish.
climax?
He actually ran into the bathroom
Oh
shortly
my
thereafter.
god! I am appalled.
But I
Did
walked
he have
away.
a premature experience?
I have no idea. I walked away and I went over to the manager and I said, I refuse to continue with this man. And I'm saying this in front of my son. But that was gross. Then
Now,
there
what
was,
did the manager say when you said
She
there was
said
a
you
man
don't have to work on him,
pleasing
Of
himself?
course.
thankfully.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's
I
what
mean, did you make him leave in the middle of the
He was in
haircut,
the
or-
bathroom for about 15 minutes
Well,
after
I
that.
think you know what he finished in the bathroom.
So it's so crazy because nowadays, I mean, you have different types of men and why they would want to go to a barbershop. And it has nothing to do with picking up women. I mean, it's just
No.
so different.
It's like a
now.
boys' club now.
And men
Yeah.
who go to a hairstylist want a specific, cut with their top or something like that.
It's
That's
more
more of a
scissor cut.
style.
Yeah, scissor cut and experience and
nobody
style.
creepy. You just don't see that anymore. They just
No.
it would be literally like you could call the cops on them. I mean, it's that
Well,
serious.
that was like 1992. So I don't know, today the Me Too movement Definitely.
But still,
this
I mean,
wouldn't happen.
not even with the Me Too movement.
Oh,
It's
but they
just
were
like
disgusting.
vile.
I remember one guy followed me out to my car.
Reno?
That was another one, actually, that you know
An
of.
old flame.
But he followed me out to the car, and he had said to me that he saw me and how I was looking at him cutting his hair through the mirror. So because I had to use the mirror to cut his awful hair, he actually said that to me, and I just ran in my car. Fortunately, I got the hell out of there. I worked there for about 6 months, and that was the end of it.
Where was this located?
This was called Great Cuts, and it was in Medford, Mass. They are since, I guess, out
The
of business.
393.
The 393 itself, Medford, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
right?
So the point is, in those days, men just would go anywhere.
They liked to masturbate in New Jersey. It was atypical in the early 90s.
Pretty disgusting, right? I guess so.
Cuts and cum, I guess maybe they could call it.
Colt cutteth.
I think the difference, though, you're a man, Dan, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
I think
That we know of.
I don't know nowadays. You almost can't assign a gender to any human being, or a lot of people will be offended. But I think I'm
think
a
you
man.
I
are.
think you're a guy.
I think I'm a man that feels like a man.
Well, you've had both experience. In-salon experience.
Okay.
No, not experience that way. In-salon experience, getting your hair cut and
Yes.
buzzed and trimmed or whatever, and at a barber. And you can be
I'm
really
very
truthful.
new to the salon experience.
You are, yeah.
It's unique.
What do you think the differences are, though?
Well, there's a lot of women that work at the salons, and there's a lot of men that
We know
work at the
that.
barber shops, believe it or not.
Right, it is.
I think the salon experience is much more classy.
Yeah.
I think nowadays the price point isn't all that different for a
No,
haircut.
No,
You
I
know
don't
what I mean?
think
And that's
so.
one thing that really surprised me. What I've seen, what they charge at barber shops over the past 4 or 5 years nowadays, is we have many guests in the background. Apparently, they don't realize we're recording right now, so they're having a nice, casual, loud conversation. Including
Yeah,
a man.
that's a religious
He looks
group,
kind of
too.
like. Do you ever watch Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Remember, I think that's Kramer's
Kramer.
father, the first
Yeah, I
one.
don't know.
And you know, with the-
Unfortunately, no one can see
the
them since
frisky
this is a
individual.
podcast.
I think that gentleman, the one within the black, maybe he was known to imitate what the man did in your chair several times, right under his robe.
I do find that like barbershops, like you were saying, classy,
Yeah.
but I think nowadays barbershops have upped it a little bit. Also because they're
Is that
trying.
why they're charging so much?
Well, I
now?
think that's exactly.
I think it's also demographic where they're located. If you're
Yeah.
in Boston,
Like
you're
if
going to
you're in
charge
New
more than the
Bedford,
burbs.
It's going to be a lot cheaper. yeah,
Absolutely, yes.
down in New Bedford.
I think they have to be more well-rounded now.
Yeah,
versus
and
just-
I've noticed that too. There was a place. This is what really made me think of it. A few blocks from here at the studio, I looked online at one point when I was looking for a haircut, maybe a year or so ago. It said you could book the appointment online. It was $25, and I said, maybe I'm a little cheap, but $25 for what I get for a haircut is insane.
How long does it take usually?
Well, I used to get a whiffle. Do you know
So
what a whiffle is?
all buzz?
Just
no
all buzz.
scissors. Okay.
$25 for that is a little much.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
If you're not lining up or doing any fading, that's a lot of
Is
money.
there a shampoo involved?
No shampoo.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I will say there is a movement amongst a lot of men who are balding that they cut their own hair. And they do buzz cuts once a month on special occasions. And they will shave themselves and get their hair all over the place.
Well, good for
That's-
them.
That's very
I'm
common.
very unfamiliar with this
I'm
movement.
completely unfamiliar with
I
the
didn't
movement.
notice that on Twitter.
Well, if you follow at NJTank99, you will see that there is a movement.
So cosmetology, we have to.
It's an art form.
Well, we get
That's
far
what
more.
Aurora told me at least. It's
Correct.
an
We
art
It
get
is an
far
art
more
form.
into chemical services, although barbershops do some coloring. I don't know of a barbershop that foils or does any special balayage technique.
No.
And the atmosphere is completely different. It's more of a
It
boys'
is. It
club.
sure is.
You know, there's not as many. There's virtually no women in most barbershops. So a guy can come in, have a cigar, have a drink. At our shop, they can have a mimosa here and there, but
Whoa. Wait,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I've even
Wait
heard
a
of
minute.
barbershops
dealing
in the
drugs.
back. No, but in the back they have
That's
like
Ponce de Leon.
they have
Card games.
no porn
Oh,
playing. Yeah, I've
Wait,
heard
wait,
of
how do you
that.
play porn?
Like on a TV, like they just
oh,
have
Oh,
like,
I'm
Oh,
sure.
they meant like they played with each other.
So
No,
it's
they have
the ultimate
like,
male
yeah.
experience.
Yeah, it's like a place of relaxation
Well,
and just like
Where is
a
the
hangout.
pornographic barbershop?
I've heard it again. I'm not generalizing, but
Vegas
it
or-
was a Dominican barbershop. But again,
well,
it doesn't
there
mean
you
it's
go.
just
Yeah.
Well,
Dominican
they
barbershops.
definitely
but
have
a lot
card
do.
games.
I think any guy that really goes to a woman hairstylist for a haircut either wants, like I said, a very specific cut, artistic,
Right.
or they're a pervert.
or their
It's
mom
one
owns
or
it.
two.
That's a little bit generalized.
No, I mean, otherwise, like, you could go to a guy if you don't really like need, like I said, a specific cut.
Okay, let's take your husband for an example.
Yes.
By the way, he's not a pervert, but he likes all scissor.
All scissors.
All scissors.
All scissor.
And
But he has
precision.
a really high, what would you call that?
Well,
I use the word.
Hair.
We
but
use an
it's-
Italian
I use
word.
an
We can't
Italian
use
word. I
that
don't know
word.
how to say it
Well,
in English.
he has like the top of his head is the top of
longer.
his hair is longer, and it kind of slopes down in the back.
Right, so
towards
he
the
kind
crown.
of will comb it back.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like Joseph, even like Joey's.
Well, everything is a little but that's all scissor.
All scissor, and I don't think many barbers. I mean, they
I
could.
I think some barbers. It depends on the barber. Do understand scissor cutting,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, what the average guy is used to, you go in, it's all buzzers, like you said, Dan. Buzz, buzz, buzz.
It shouldn't be
quick and you're out.
$25 though. That's a little crazy.
For that, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you get in a hair salon is you're going to get someone coming back to you and giving you advice. So, for an example, you sit in a barber's chair. Well, what do you want? Well, if someone sits in our chair, we'll say, well, why don't we do this? Or we can do this color, or we can do this treatment.
Yep.
Make your hair shiny. We have better products to offer.
Yeah,
I
we have
believe.
conditioning treatments. We do a shampoo and conditioner. We have products for aftercare. But also, the other thing I was going to say too is most places that people go for barbering, they do it once a week or quite often. Usually, men who go to barbers do even a few days.
They may go
sometimes in
for
between.
shaves
Yeah.
more often.
But I know
too.
a couple guys that go like once a week to a barber. I mean, you're not really going to do that
Doing
with
the hair?
Yeah, but I just we don't work like that. We do every 4 to
No,
6 weeks.
no.
I mean, it's just a
there's
different.
just much more specialized services in a hair salon. But
Now, when I came in for the first time, did
Yeah.
you think I was coming in for a specialized style, or did you think I was a pervert?
I
A
already
mix of
knew
both.
you. Well, I already knew you.
You already
so,
knew me, all right.
yeah,
So you knew I was a
Through
pervert. Okay.
someone at this table.
Yes, through you, through Joseph. Yeah, no, I knew you, but I think I made some suggestions.
You
You
did.
wanted a really tight cut, and I think we'll do that next. But we can, as a stylist, I
But
can.
you already have plans for my
I have
next
plans for
haircut?
your head.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
But
All right.
some stylists can do both. Some of us, although we may not do as much with the buzz, we do have women that come in. Harriet,
My good friend Harriet.
your good friend, she
Saturday
gets her
morning special.
sides all buzzed up, and I just think it's a different experience. I think it's totally most men, probably 99% of the men, go to a barber shop, and decades ago, they were all in the hair salon.
So it was normal for men to go to a salon to get
Yeah,
cut.
yeah.
When did the barbershop
Probably
become the stomping grounds for most men?
when everybody
'Cause
started
it's all I
cropping their
remember.
hair. Well, if you remember, back in the early 90s, those mullets were in, and those were all done with scissors. So there was no need to buzz. So we just cut like a regular layered cut, leaving that back long. So yeah, we used to get a lot of men in those days, and sometimes they
What are
still
they-
walk in.
They all trying to be like Beverly Hills 90210?
Yeah, it
or
was
what?
kind of that thing. Yeah, it was
One
kind
of
of that
those.
look. And then once everybody started really buzzing their hair and keeping it short and cropped, that was it.
I think
Barber
most men
shops
feel
came in.
comfortable with other men doing their hair.
I agree with that. I
Do
remember
you?
the first time I went to one of the chain barber shops in Saugus, Massachusetts. I won't even name it to give them the free
I
publicity.
already know who it is.
It was all women, and I was taken aback by it.
Really?
I was surprised. I figured there would have been some men, but it was all women.
So the
And they
chain
cut
I
away.
worked for back in the day, it was mostly men, but there were some women, but you couldn't wash their hair. So
You
we
wanted
had
to wash, is that it?
I wanted to wash their hair
You wanted to
desperately because
wash.
they had filthy hair. And the only thing I could do was wet it down with the spray bottle.
That's it.
Imagine going through long,
That's not
tangling
even
hair.
sanitary
Like a wet
anymore.
dog.
It was
Oh, you
disgusting.
wanted to clean it for your benefit.
For my own
You didn't
benefit.
care about
they were
them.
gross. If a construction worker just came off, the job and pulled up in his truck and he had all oily hair, I would prefer to have washed it before even touching it.
We can refuse service now if they
Oh, yeah.
don't want us to shampoo.
Have you, your sparkling self, ever refused a client service in any salon?
Yes.
And why? I got to hear this now.
I refused a client because they wouldn't let me wash their hair when I had to do a cut. That's just gross. And I refused a client who had extensions that were in way too long,
Matted to death.
matted,
yeah.
that wouldn't allow me to take out the mat without guarantee that she was going to put back extensions, and I couldn't give her that guarantee, so she didn't want me well, she kind of left, and I refused to finish the service. So it was kind of like that.
So did you get paid for that?
No.
No, they just left.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they got partial service, I guess.
I mean, I'd
You
rather
looked at
not
their
get
dirty
paid
head, but
and know that I can do the best that I can do. If I can't do that, if they're not allowing me to do that, then it's
I got to ask this now. What was the confrontation like when you said to someone, your head's a little too dirty for my hands?
I don't think you
have to
said it
leave."
quite like that.
no. They just don't want to pay the extra money. So it's usually like, well, if I don't get a shampoo, is it still the same price? That's usually how
And
they.
there's
So
no
they thought you were
option.
trying to hustle them.
Well, they try to hustle me.
They wanted it for free.
Right. They're like, well, can you knock off because I'm not going to get a shampoo, and I don't need it to be dry.
Oh,
And
I
our
see.
policy is we want to shampoo you.
Yeah, and we want to dry you. I mean,
I
we
did
have
not
to do
know
everything.
that.
Yeah. So,
FYI.
yeah.
And also, I
Exactly.
think when I first started, someone came in with possibly lice or
No.
just. Yes, and I remember they had gone to the hair school, and I had just
Oh,
graduated
yeah,
the hair
yeah.
school, and they wanted to come to our salon, and you can refuse them also because that's just not.
Close down the whole salon. Absolutely.
Like,
If
that's
we knew
awful.
lice was in there.
Was it confrontational when you told them you wouldn't do it?
No, I don't think no.
No.
The only one that was a little confrontational was the girl with the
She
excessive
started
knot.
crying and
Yeah,
things.
I started crying too. I had to walk away.
It was
because I felt
not
bad.
good.
You felt that bad,
I did.
but you still wouldn't do it.
No, because I
not bad
couldn't.
enough.
It's not that I wouldn't do it. I wanted to take them out so bad. The thing is she wouldn't allow me to take them out if I didn't guarantee to put them back in.
Oh, I see.
And she just shouldn't have extensions, so I wouldn't guarantee that I would put them
She
back
was
in.
begging.
For me
Did
to
it
put
get
them.
to the point of begging?
uh,
Groveling?
No, I don't think she was groveling.
No,
There was no groveling.
She was just scared.
Her hair was just so bad.
You remember this?
Yes, I
Really?
do. Her hair
She
was
came
just
in like 3
so
times.
bad that
And you threw her out 3 times?
no, she within a couple years. I'm not kidding you.
Every time she came
It's
in.
the
you said,
same knot.
You got to go.
And I would
You
say
gotta go.
I'm going to take out this knot, but I'm not guaranteeing that I'm putting extensions back in.
but you
because your
couldn't
hair is
guarantee
not-
what her hair was going to
Exactly.
be like once
I
you took
didn't
it
know
out.
how it was going to be, and I didn't even know if it was going to be long enough.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Was this a salon regular?
No.
So this woman came in 3 times over the course of a couple of years,
With the same knot.
specifically asking for you.
Somehow she
And-
just fell in my chair.
Oh,
every
all right.
time.
Well, she didn't request you.
I don't believe so.
I was going to say maybe she thought she was going to pull a little Winnie the Pooh looking for some honey in the
no,
jar. You know
I
what
think
mean?
I just kept
All
on
right.
like we just kept on locking it, like recognizing each other. It wasn't ever,
And, she was
and
probably
everybody in
like,
the
"Oh,
salon was on the same.
I can't believe it. I got her again.
Yeah, actually, it was to the point where I even brought over another stylist so that
Who was the other stylist? Would I
Today.
know? Really? A specialist? And what did the specialist have to
She
say?
said she didn't even want her to leave the salon. She would have rather. She was like, "Please do not leave." We were begging her to stay and let us cut this knot out, and
But
she escaped
because it's only
again.
going to get worse. So
Yeah.
don't forget, it's a knot with a lot of hair extensions stuck in there.
Yeah.
It was
So
bad.
we didn't want to say, I know what Aurora's saying. She didn't want to say, oh, yes, let's do it. And we're going to do extensions after we take 3 to 4 hours to get out your knot. And we don't know what condition your hair is going to be in. So
And honestly, anybody who
You
goes
don't wanna do
years with
that.
a knot is not in the right frame of mind to keep on getting extensions.
We-
Was this an eccentric client?
Oh, yes.
I think she was afraid to brush her hair.
She was afraid to. Now, why would one be afraid to brush the hair?
I don't know. But
Really?
I had someone that didn't brush their hair their hair with dreads for 2 years. And her dad came in. She had an addiction, she had a habit. And
And
she
what
was
was the
finally
habit?
clean. Probably heroin.
Filth? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some filth in there too. I hate to tell you, but she came in, and her father actually came in with her and said, "Please, we're taking family photos. Can you help my daughter's hair?" So I feel, oh yeah, sure, I'll help. Well, she walked over to me, and she had like a Erica Badu. You know how she has that whole scarf, like picture Marge Simpson with the that hair that goes stand straight up,
Yeah.
with the scarf wrapped around it. So she walked in like that. This is many years ago. And I said, I wonder what she's got going on. So I said, can I see your hair? Scarf off. And the hair, literally on its own, standing straight up. So I remember just saying, I don't know what I can do with this hair to her father. And he begged me, please, please. I was booked all day. So I said, I'll work her in between clients. So as I was talking to her father left. I said, what's going on with your hair? Because there was like all this sticky stuff in there. I couldn't figure it out. And I had like a pick, like a dental pick. And I was picking through it all. And she said that she had dreads and she just never washed them. So let me tell you, my hands were like complete oil slicks. And I would just keep opening the hair, cutting away some hair, because your hair sheds every day. So all that shedding was all wrapped up so that the hair wasn't growing down, it was growing up.
It's like a BP spill.
Oh my God, it was like a beehive. That's what they call it, a beehive. So eventually, after hours of getting towards her scalp, cutting, picking, her scalp was like a lemon. It was the color of a lemon.
Her head was orange.
Her head was yellow.
Her head was yellow.
That head never had any stimulation, nothing. And as I would pick through it, her scalp was just completely, untouched. And as I would open through and try to comb, it was like someone shook powder on me. That's how much dry.
I'm dying.
That was an experience of a lifetime.
How much did you charge?
Not much.
Well, that's
Why?
shame on you.
I guess at that point, I just kind of squeezed her in. I'd have to keep washing
a
my
lemon,
hands
yeah.
with
But
dish soap.
sometimes
And it
when
was
they're
gross.
that bad, you understand that something's like not
Yeah.
okay there.
Well,
so you
she
don't want to
explained
take
her
advantage of
addiction,
somebody.
and I knew
either.
they were desperate, so I just.
What was the addiction?
I think it was heroin. She said that she was kind of like not with it for many years.
Yeah, well,
and
that
in her,
sounds
she
pretty
didn't touch
obvious.
her hair, and it just got away from her. She just didn't work with it anymore.
I think Aurora would have thrown her out. And the father.
I don't think so.
Oh.
She has a big heart.
And then she would have cried, but that's all right. 'Cause she is all hot after she broke theirs. Yeah.
So it's So I guess we're not only talking about the differences between a hair salon and a barbershop. As you can see, there are many. Are some of our experiences and what we've dealt with.
Have you ever asked anyone to groom the hair downstairs?
No.
What?
Why would I ever do that?
Come on.
I don't know.
No.
People come in
We
with odd
want to
requests.
groom their hair.
If we
We've
were
got
waxers.
we got prank phone calls about it, though.
Yeah,
one
we
time.
have.
How did the call go?
Totally
I
knows.
said, sure, come on down. I'd love
You
to
invited
see you.
them?
Absolutely.
Really?
I wanted to see
We've
who had the
like
literal
massage.
balls to
Do you
come
remember
in.
people would be like, "Do you give men massages?"
Yeah,
And-
I know.
Well, we have a woman that works here at the studio that it's very thick down there. You know what I mean?
How do you know?
How do
Well,
you
one
know that?
summer she was sitting at the desk.
Oh my god!
And the hair started coming out down the thigh, and so it was kind of long. It was like
She was sitting at the desk, and that she had that much hair. What does she have on that you could see? Oh, you were looking up her
kinda like
skirt.
Daisy
You were
Duke.
looking
no,
up
no, no,
her
these
skirt.
are shorts, like Daisy Duke shorts. She wanted to do Rapunzel from her crotch, I guess.
Oh my God.
Now, could you do anything with that?
Aurora still has her hand over her mouth,
just
looking at
can't.
Dan. Oh God.
It was like octopus tentacles, only they were gray.
Oh my god!
So you see a lot of interesting things, and whether it be barbershops
Yeah,
or
I think as a whole, we're all in the industry, and that's what ends up happening. There's some crazy people coming and going, but as far as our education, we, as cosmetologists, quote unquote, we do 1,000 hours. But we do get a lot more into chemicals and perming, and we also work this on a day-to-day basis. We do keratin treatments and straightening, whereas barbers, the one thing they do different from us is they shave, and they can use a straight edge.
You've never
We don't
shaved?
shave. No. There's no. That's not something.
What
we
if
do.
someone asked?
I would not shave someone. I'm not. First of all, I'm not licensed to do that, and
You have to
second
have
of
a
all,
license to shave.
well,
someone.
that's why.
Of course.
Barbers
I had
Just
no
do
see
idea.
how
that.
sharp. I mean, it's really usually they'll have like the steam towel as well.
Yeah, that's
I've
why.
never
in
had it done to
service.
me, so I don't know.
I mean, I can do a beard trim.
Yeah.
The nose
Christmas time.
hairs, the
I've done that.
beards. We
Ugh.
can do like a wax. I mean, we can do basic things, but when it comes to taking a blade to the face,
No, we don't
that.
do that. We
What
don't.
if they said, "Can we do it off hours"?
I don't
Would you
care
try
what
and
they
slide
said.
it in there?
No, it's not worth it.
Nothing at Noel Salon is going to be shaved.
No. And
No?
the other thing we can't use is, those big brushes to wipe off hair? They have like the barbers have a big brush, they put powder on it, and they just kind of like get your
Clean
neck,
up.
clean up your neck.
Oh, I shut my eyes for that. I don't want to get the powder in my
we,
eyes.
we don't, we don't
You
use
have to have a
those.
license to use the
You
brush.
have to have a barber's license. Now, yeah.
Well, that just
I
shows
mean, that
how
seems a little
government
extreme
just
to me.
Yeah.
It's because it's sanitation. I
It's
think
all the
more than
sanitation.
anything.
It's what they learn. At our salon, we do have a barbering license, though.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
All of you, or just you?
No, the salon itself has a barber's license. So, yes, we can
see the
hire
things we
barbers.
learn here.
Is barbers, they also do 1,000 hours. So cosmetologists and barbers do 1,000 hours.
1,000 hours, you mean by practice or study?
Of
or-
1,000 hours in order to be licensed by the state of Massachusetts.
But
Every
1,000
state can
hours of
vary.
what?
Oh my gosh, they teach us a lot.
Education.
Yeah, education. We have to do
So
practical.
not I mean, these are classes for
We
$1,000?
have classes
You
in practical.
You have to do, I believe it's up to 600 hours of quote unquote book work, let's say. And then I think 400 or 200 on the floor.
It's been so
that
long
you have
for
to
me.
do.
It's-
And usually
it's
your
been split.
school does like, when people go to the beauty school to get their hair done, well, they're students that are getting their hours in. So that's what it is.
Yeah. So it's in the exam in Massachusetts anyway is broken down between a practical exam and of course a written exam. Lauren,
So when they start to cut, are they on human heads or are they on mannequins?
Mannequins.
Oh, mannequins. Okay.
Everything, coloring too.
Oh,
Well,
really?
yeah.
The mannequins get colored. All right.
Of course.
So Dan, tell us about the fun you had today with that couple that came in.
Well, it was an interesting experience.
Got to tell Aurora.
Oh, Aurora doesn't know.
I don't know.
No.
Well, I really didn't get to see the female part of the group much. What is one of the more popular acts in Las Vegas?
Rod Stewart.
Penn and
The
Teller.
Penn and Teller comedy routine. So I'm
I
not
see
sure
where you're going.
I'm not sure which is which. But the bigger man, the one
Penn,
that has the
that's
big
Penn,
ponytail,
right, Joe?
Gillette.
Penn Gillette. Yep.
his doppelganger came into the salon today with a rather,
Oh.
I guess,
A
I
younger
know
one.
exactly.
You know exactly who it
Who,
is.
and you know what? I think that every single time, who does he look like? And you hit it right on the ball.
but do you know who his sidekick
Yes.
was today?
Yes. Well, I know.
His wife or
Who's
whatever.
Not her. He was carrying a 6-inch teddy bear with him, and didn't know why. But he held on to the teddy bear with great strength. I didn't want to ask him if it needed a seat.
The oddest thing is he brings his mail. I think she's a mail order bride because she doesn't speak English. I think
From
she's
Riga,
from
Latvia.
I think it's Latvia.
Yeah.
I used to think that was his daughter.
No, that's his.
No, for a
his
long time.
girlfriend.
Do you think
Or
he
wife.
spent more on the wife or on the teddy bear?
I venture to guess that the wife is probably
wife
a hell
was
of
a
a lot
little
more
more,
expensive. But he does everything with her. He makes appointments for her. He comes in with her and watches the hair. It's kind of a weird relationship.
Kind of.
I'm almost thinking. I don't know.
So
maybe I shouldn't say what
what
this
is
is.
the teddy bear?
Damned
Maybe-
if we know.
Maybe after
Did he go
got
to a
the wife,
fair maybe before?
he couldn't afford
No, it was a little teeny one.
a support dog or something like that. It might have been too expensive. So he said, well,
He couldn't keep
get
it in the
teddy
car.
bear. Yeah.
And then Dan said to me, "What the?"
I don't think I worded it quite like that.
No, he was just like, we were baffled.
We were baffled. It was a
I mean,
baffling
a lot
hour.
of baffling things going on in that place, but that
Today
one
was an
today was
interesting day.
odd.
Very odd.
And then one of our stylists,
Almost ran you over. Oh,
No,
that
no.
was the client. I'm sorry.
one of our
You
stylists,
thought you were Rick Hunter and Dee Dee McCall out there fighting crime, running into the parking lot to make sure the patrons couldn't get away without paying.
yeah, someone actually
Attempted
Just
to run
left.
you over.
just left without paying, and Dan told me. So I had to be the one to go run out back.
Do you think
I
she did it on
did my
purpose?
fastest. It took
She
me,
said she didn't.
I don't know. All I know is that there was right ass cheek in the face, partially blocking my view at checkout time. I was on the phone. I booked the appointment. Then I saw a cash tip. So I asked the stylist, I said, was there a cash payout? Did you put it in the drawer? And she said, no, they didn't pay you. And I went back to the seat, looked, there was nothing. And I
Thank
said,
God you caught her in enough time
I
with
said
all
to
this
Noelle-
going
yeah.
on.
Noelle, I said, I'm going to get up as fast as I can, which would take me about 25 seconds. But Noelle was already out the door,
Well,
Willing to
chasing,
risk her life for $35.
I didn't know it was
chasing
$35,
Rock and Robin
honestly.
into the parking lot.
Yeah, Rock and Robin.
Well, of course you have to do that. That's
Well, it's
out
not
of
fair
control.
because, let's just talk about one other thing. There have been people, and this is another issue in the industry, and that's why sometimes it stinks whether we're women that, that we're not intimidating enough. It's good that we have you in the
Yes.
front. It actually was 2 women came in.
I'm like the black guy on Judge Judy.
Exactly.
Yep.
What's his name?
The
I
black
love
guy.
him. Bird. So 2 sisters came in. They were very unusual people. And Ayana was doing both of their hair simultaneously. They said they were from out of state. They just wanted their hair done really quick. They came in. Long story short, she worked on both of them probably about 4.5 hours. Now, we have cameras and everything. Do you know they ran out the door after?
So I've refused clients who have ran out and not paid before when they wanted to come back. Do you remember? well, I'm not going to say her name, but she even went as far as she ran out the first time. And then the second time she came in, I gave her another chance. And I said, okay, but you have to leave your pocketbook here.
Oh, that's nickname is Half Shirt.
Half Shirt.
Yes.
You have to leave your pocketbook here if you're going to go down the street.
You really gave her a second chance?
I did. And I said,
Oh,
come back.
she was a customer of the salon for many
Years. And I said, okay, one time's a fluke. Okay, you whatever. She had her issues too. And I said, leave your bag here. Because I thought, she said, I'll leave my wallet, everything. I'll be right back. She never came
She
to
never
get
came
that,
back to even
ever.
get her wallet. She was a client that was local to our salon, and she had issues, as Aurora said. But imagine she never even picked
And this
up her
wasn't
license.
for a small service. They were for sets of
She
extensions.
owes us about $550.
For one set. And then there was another set.
What
No,
did you
no,
do
she
with the
didn't.
driver's license
She did
that
twice.
she left?
What could we do with
She
it?
didn't care.
We called her. and
Probably wasn't even a
She
who
didn't
knows?
even. Who knows?
Was
what
there
it
any money in the wallet?
I couldn't even
we
tell
didn't
you.
look. I don't know what happened to her, but her nickname was blank, whatever her name was, Half Shirt.
Because she always wore
half shirts.
She had to show us a
Everything.
half shirt.
Well, we have people even in the salon that like to
Yes.
wear those. Yeah.
I knew that was coming too. Oh, Dan, we know you too well.
Well,
So anyway, ladies and gents,
Oh my God, we could do a podcast with just going back and forth off of crazy stories.
crazy stories in the industry, and I'm sure we're not the only ones.
That should
And
be
there
like a
are some
highlight
crazier
show.
ones too. We'll save
There's
that for
so
another
many more
episode.
crazy
Oh my
ones.
gosh, yeah, we'll save that. So Dan, let's talk about once again about the contest.
very excited about the contest. It seems like it's going to be a blockbuster fall.
I've got a lot of people who've
At
written to
Noelle
us.
Salon
A lot of
and-
hard luck stories out there.
Hair matters. Well,
They need their lips and their hair extensions.
but it's going to be a lot of fun to bring Hair Matters to life in the studio.
Yes, we're video taping. And Aurora, by the way, you're doing the extensions.
I am?
Yeah. No, I'm going to help you. We'll do it together. But we're
And-
going to do it on video.
And we
Dan.
have a Botox specialist.
Yes, but she's going to be doing lip injections. So we're going to try to do a nice makeover on somebody. The stories like that are coming in are basically a lot of mothers who don't have time to pamper themselves, or someone who hasn't done their hair for like years or has thinning hair.
Folks, thank you for joining us for another installment of Hair Matters. As always, we look forward to your feedback across our social media platforms and the place where it all happens for all your hair needs, noellesalon.com. Don't forget to enter our contest. You can do it across social media as well as via email at noellesalon.com. Don't forget, for all your hair needs, Noelle Salon is located just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the Malden Center T-Stop, or via automobile with free parking at 347 Pleasant Street, Malden, Massachusetts.